The recency effect is a cognitive bias where individuals have a tendency to remember and prioritize information that they encountered most recently in a series over information presented earlier. This phenomenon occurs in various cognitive processes, including perception, memory formation, and decision-making. The recency effect primarily affects the encoding phase of memory formation, where information is initially processed and stored in memory. When individuals encounter a series of items or stimuli, the last items are more likely to be encoded into short-term or working memory than earlier items. The recency effect is often illustrated by the serial position curve, which plots the probability of recall or recognition for each item in a series against its position in the series. The curve typically shows a higher probability of recall for items presented at the end of the series, recency, and at the beginning, primacy, with a dip in recall for items presented in the middle. The recency effect is particularly prominent in short-term memory tasks, where individuals are asked to recall items immediately after presentation. Because short-term memory has limited capacity, items presented most recently are more readily accessible for recall than earlier items. The recency effect is influenced by the temporal context in which information is presented and processed. Items presented more recently are still active in working memory, making them more salient and accessible for recall or recognition compared to earlier items that may have faded from memory. The recency effect can be attributed to the decay of memory traces over time. As time passes, memory traces for earlier items in a series may become weaker or less accessible, while memory traces for more recent items remain relatively intact and accessible for recall. The recency effect often interacts with the primacy effect, where individuals also show enhanced recall for items presented at the beginning of a series. Together, these effects shape the overall pattern of recall in memory tasks, with stronger recall for items at the beginning and end of a series. The recency effect has implications for decision-making processes, particularly in situations where individuals must recall or evaluate information presented in a sequential manner. Information presented most recently may disproportionately influence judgments, preferences, or decisions compared to earlier information. Recognizing the influence of the recency effect can help individuals and organizations mitigate its impact on memory and decision-making. Strategies such as providing opportunities for rehearsal, spacing out information presentation, and emphasizing the importance of all items in a series can help counteract the recency effect.